Hey guys, today's video is going to be a tutorial from start to finish on how I create kind of this more perfect manicure than you can get even at the salon. I've gotten my nails done only a few times and I feel like I can achieve just as good, if not better, results from home. So I'm going to go ahead and show you all of the tools and products that I like to use to make sure my nails always look nice, it lasts just as long. I mean, honestly, there's no reason to go to the salon if you have 10-20 minutes to do it at home. It doesn't take too long after you get a bit of practice and a feel for what you're doing, because honestly, it really does not need to take a ton of time. There's also a video that I've done on how to clean up your cuticles if you happen to go outside of the edges. So hopefully between these two videos you can definitely recreate the salon look from home, save yourself a bit of money, and go buy yourself a new lipstick or something. So thanks for watching, and I hope you guys find this helpful. So the first step is going to be, after removing your polish, putting on your instant cuticle remover. I use the Sally Hansen one, so I basically just use the tip of this here and put it all along my dry cuticles. And generally I'll do, all 10 fingers at a time, so by the time I get to the last one I can go ahead and start removing the cuticles. So I actually use this tool here, but you have to be very careful that you don't dig into your nail. This is just kind of a tool that I find useful. If it's a little bit too harsh for you, you can use a wooden stick. But what I do is, after it's had a chance to sit a little bit, I take the corner of this here and just kind of move at the dry cuticles here. So I'm kind of pushing it back, but make sure not to push into your nail bed. And so you're kind of working up the cuticle. And then anything that's kind of left on this here, I just put it on an old rag that I have sitting on my lap. So I like to go just at slow motions like this, bringing up a bit of the dead skin, because that's what that is, and that's what's going to make your manicure look a lot nicer if this is gone. And then after you've taken that all off, go ahead and wash your hands and thoroughly dry it, and make sure there's no soap or any sort of moisturizing elements left over. Now after you've washed your hands, I generally, if this is going to be like an intense manicure, I'll go through with a Q-tip and just make sure this is all dry. And I'm going to take this brush here. It is a number 8 Princeton Art and Brush Company brush. Got it at Michael's, I want to say, and just a bit of Vaseline, and I'm going to put this around the cuticles. I have a separate video on how to clean up your cuticles, and I'm going to put that as a video response below. That's actually my most popular video I have. If you haven't seen it, hopefully it'll be helpful, but I'm going to go ahead and just do this as a bit of moisture to the cuticles. It also helps with cleanup, which you'll see in that video if you watch it. Okay, one thing I do want to talk about, which you can do while your last polish was still on or when it's off here, is actually shaping your nails. So what I find is the best way to shape your nails is by following the edge of your finger. So where this starts to, there's like the curve of the nail here, and then when it starts to go straight, just trying to keep the nail in this perfectly straight line. So here, let me I have this coaster here behind so you can kind of see. You should be able to see that this is just a straight line here. So how I like to file my nails is just kind of at an angle under here, making it kind of a straighter edge. And the reason for this is, if when you're painting your nails and you come across the corner here and you just pull it forward, you'll have a much cleaner line than if, you know, you have to go inward, or if it kind of bows out a little bit there. It's nice to have a straight edge. It just makes the cleanup a lot easier, and I think it looks the most professional. And also, it's a lot easier to keep your nails length because it's almost straight across at the top. So really, I'm not working with that much. Hopefully you can see. I don't have that much hanging over the edge, but they do look a little bit longer. I like to file the top, and I do go back and forth. I'm using a glass file by OPI, and I'll just kind of gently move back and forth, taking a little bit off at a time, but I keep it in kind of a straighter motion like that. And then, since you could have some like dust sitting on the top, I kind of take this and dust it down and then do another swipe so it kind of cuts off that edge. And generally you want to do that before you do the Vaseline, just so you can wash off any of those extra dust particles, but I'm going to just do that with my finger like this. And so the base coat I'm going to use is the Creative Nail Design Sticky Base Coat. And I'm going to go ahead and put one coat all over the nails. Make sure not to flood your cuticle. The polish I'm going to be using today is Russian Navy by OPI. It's a gorgeous deep blue purple. How I apply my polish is a really traditional way, I guess. I try to do it in about 3 main swipes across the nail. I also start a little bit further from the cuticle, like this, and just push it toward the cuticle to try to get that edge and pull it out. So I used a bit much there, so I'm going to go back in with nothing and then just kind of swing it around, trying to get that straight edge. And then lift the finger a little bit and draw it across the side. So it's a bit messy, but we're not going to worry about that right now because, like I said, I have that video on how to clean up your cuticles, so you'll be able to see how to get a more professional look. And apparently I hit my finger with my other finger, so I'm going to have to try to cover that up. So I'm going to go through with my second coat. This polish is pretty opaque, which you can see, but going through with your second coat kind of helps with any mistakes you made the first round. I'm going to go ahead and clean up the cuticles. Like I said, you can go ahead and watch that video, and I'll be back in a second. So I'm going to use Sèche Vite. I have a video on this too if you want to see my opinions on the product. I'll link it in the bottom bar below. But I'm going to go ahead and start kind of in the same area. I go in with a heavy hand and then just thin it out a little bit as we go. So I'll bring it back to the neck of the bottle and kind of wipe it off. So again, make sure to do the tip there. Avoid the cuticle area. So I'll go in kind of with a heavy hand, spread it out a bit, and do the tips. And then we're all set. So that's how I do my manicure when I need to take care of my cuticles and really pamper myself. A lot of times I'll skip that part and just go straight into the polish. But this is the full manicure. I hope you guys found it helpful, and thanks for watching.